Welcome to Authentic English Podcast, your weekly show where education meets recreation. Here's your host with 20 years plus of teaching experience, Marcia Pike.
Marcia Pike here. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Authentic English Podcast episode. On today's show, I want to share with you a little bit about my podcasting and video podcasting journey. Like I've mentioned before, I came up with the idea of having my own podcast one day when a student of mine texted me asking me for help. I was feeling really goofy that day, so instead of texting back, I actually recorded a voice message pretending I was hosting my own English podcast while I answered the question. That was in June last year, but it was only in September that the idea actually sank in. It's interesting to see how ideas evolve. My original plan was to have a podcast, but when I told my family, friends, and students about it, I found out that most of them hadn't even heard of podcasting before. They all mentioned YouTube. So the original plan, which was podcasting, ended up branching out into video podcasting as well. So video podcasting only came up later on. Since then, I've spent countless hours looking into all the technical part. As this is all brand new to me, believe me, there's so much to learn that it can be really overwhelming. Not that it can be overwhelming, it is really overwhelming. As I'm a newbie and a non-techie, I've spent like several hours looking everything up on the internet, and I had to start from scratch. Which equipment to buy, how to set it up, which software to use, how to edit the episodes, how to air the episodes on different platforms because there's audio and video, how to post and share on social media. Wow, it's really been a lot to take in. Well, after looking into all that tech part, I thought through meaningful topics and I focused on coming up with interesting ideas for the show. Not only did I focus on which topics to cover, but I also brainstormed the best way to get the ideas across clearly to you. While this has definitely been a wild ride, I've gone through so many different emotions in this journey, pure excitement, thrill, discomfort, anxiety, fear, you name it. If I tell you that I had butterflies in my stomach throughout this first launch week, I'd be lying to you. I've been sick to my stomach lately, but I've been trying to hang in there and I've been trying not to drive everyone around me crazy. Before I recorded my first episode, I worried just by wondering how I was going to come across in audio and video. To be 100% honest with you, not much has changed. Actually, nothing has changed at all, but I hope it does change soon because I have to go back to being my normal self again. I was so nervous before recording that first episode that I actually thought of not calling it off because I really wanted to do the project, but I actually thought of putting it off. But I talked it over with my brother and I realized that I was freaking out and I decided to follow through. I've been really looking forward to this moment. Although this is really out of my comfort zone, I feel that all the hard work and mixed feelings have paid off. So welcome to Authentic English Podcast. This has been my podcasting and video podcasting journey. I don't know if you've noticed, but throughout today's episode, there have been two prevalent grammar points. Do you know what they are? On next week's episode, I'm going to come back to today's episode and I'm going to explore one of the grammar points. Okay, I'll let you in on one of them, phrasal verbs. So when you listen and or watch this episode again, try to figure out what the other grammar point is. On a final note, I want to give a shout out to Victor Peixoto from Uberlândia, Brazil. Victor is our first winner of the Skype class giveaway. I'm going to have 3 more Skype class giveaways in January on the 12th, 19th, and 26th. If you have already subscribed, no need to subscribe again. But for those who haven't, just go to AuthenticEnglishPodcast.com/giveaways to subscribe and be eligible for the Skype class giveaways. I hope we can meet in one of these classes. Well, I hope you have a great week. Take care.
Great having you with us today. Keep on with Marcia on social media. Head over to AuthenticEnglishPodcast.com to practice what you've just learned. And subscribe, rate, and review. Take care.